Have you got to chat with him yet, or even talk about some of those games last year?
No, yeah, for sure. Just his physicality, great defender. Fast, mobile. But I'll say really just his physicality go help this team out. Everybody's seen that. That's a part of his game. But we talked about a couple games, because they beat us and stuff. So he always talk about that, just playing around. But yeah, I feel like me and him will connect real well. We already been chopping up a lot. Been on the game a lot, talking outside of just the facility. So yeah.
You've only been together a few days, the whole team, but can you sense what maybe the biggest difference from last year's team, maybe on and off the court, will be compared to this team?
Yeah, really just the energy, the goofiness off the court. I feel like I've been seeing that a lot, but I feel like that's gonna be the biggest difference, just because we're younger and stuff. So yeah.
You talked about Mo. How much did you follow Kentucky's roster building this offseason as it was going on? And did you know any of the guys personally?
I kind of knew Jalen a little bit just because of AAU, we're in the same grade and stuff. But I followed it a little bit, I trusted coaches, so I was just letting them handle that and trying to enjoy my summer. But I wouldn't say I was just tracking it and stuff. But once the roster came together, they all put us in a group text and told us to reach out and stuff. We didn't know each other, but yeah.
Do you think three-pointers, the volume of threes, will definitely increase this year? Because that's one area Pope really wanted to improve throughout the season.
Yeah, for sure. I think that'll increase because, he likes to get up a lot of threes, him and Figure. But I feel like that'll improve. He's going to hit on that just in these summer practices, film, and just letting us know that he likes to get up a lot of threes. So I feel like that'll improve this year.
Brandon, last year you and Amari were obviously really close, and Amari kind of took you under his wing. Are you kind of trying to do the same thing with Jaden? And how do you guys think, how's that going, and how do you think you'll complement each other at that position?
Yeah, no, for sure. Just trying to learn everything I learned from Amari and being the older guy, trying to, I've been talking to Jed, he's been doing great in his rehab and stuff. So, just trying to chat it up with him, keep him in good spirits and stuff, and, just trying to teach him the way,
Was there one thing in particular Amari taught you that has stood out among all the other lessons you either he told you or you saw from him?
Yeah, just, every day in practice, he was going hard, so I picked that up on him, just he telling me don't take no days off just in practice alone, because it can help, your overall game. So that's the thing I take away from him, He always told me, always go hard in practice, and I learned that from him, since he stepped on campus and we started our first practice. So that's one thing.
This is kind of the second rebuilt team with a lot of new faces that you've been on in a row, but is it nice to have some of the familiar guys back too, Lataya and Trent?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's always a good thing having some returners back, some guys you play with, mixing in with some new guys. I feel like that helped the team out a lot, so I'm glad they return and continue to play with us this year.
When Ortega announced that he was coming back, what was your reaction?
Super excited. That's my guy. So I was just very happy I get to play with him for another year and excited that he came back.
What does he bring from a leadership perspective? Because he seems to be such a quiet guy, but then he was the most consistent player you had last year.
So just, his daily life, just being consistent, I'll say. He is kind of quiet, but when we get on the court, he gets to talking a lot. I know y'all might not see it, but, I feel like he'll be a great leader for this team this year.
What do you think he's still got kind of left in the tank after a great season last season with some highlight moments? What's still there to be seen?
I feel like he got a whole nother level he can reach, but just super excited to play with him. Just ready to see what he gonna do for us this year. Excited for it.
What was your reaction to his haircut?
I was shocked because like after the season he told us he was gonna cut it, but I'm like he's just chatting. But when he had called me when he cut it, I was like, oh nah, I ain't believe it, but he did it.
Then you saw his video with long hair, then you're like, well, why did you do that, man?
Yeah.
You been following the Thunder?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just being from there. When I was back home, I caught a couple games when they played Minnesota. So, it's electric in there, and I think we're gonna win it all.
Do you know Kaysen by chance? I know he might have been in the same.
I met him junior year of high school, you know, because we played against each other. Because my high school used to go down to Texas and play against each other, so that's when we met. You know, just AAU and stuff, and we chop it up here and there. But yeah, we connected for sure.
You may have already touched on this, Brandon. But how do you think your game will evolve and change this year into the role you'll be in?
Yeah, first thing you just I feel like the leader role, I'm improving on that, so I feel like that helped my game overall. Just like the confidence point, building my game, you know, just hitting it on the off season, improving my overall game, just from like shooting, you know, and just little things like that. So I feel like my game will improve a lot this upcoming year.
Coach Pope talked a ton of last year about how he thought your future, your trajectory was just up, up, up. What were some of the conversations he had with you when you were, you know, coming back? Just the selling points from him.
Yeah, just, you know, first we talked about like being a leader or trying to, you know, lead this team this year. But you know, him just telling me, you know, you got to be in the best condition. Obviously, improving my overall game. You know, just taking that next step. That's all he's been preaching to me this offseason.
Anything else for BG?
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.